Hi. I've loved stories since I was a little child. Like, I was one of those children who would not go to sleep without being told a story or without reading a story. Like, I'd have a little torch and I'd read stories underneath the blanket after my parents put me to sleep. I listened to a lot of mythology growing up from my grandmom. And what I've learned after nearly 2 decades of professional writing, journalism, learning novel writing, working on my own novel, writing short stories, writing poems, is that in a world where a lot of people would be chasing the things that seem to have value, like math, like science, like technology, maybe even strength, there is a quality of connection, bringing people together that storytelling is able to do. And I've read several books on influencing, on persuasion, on marketing, on branding. Most of that advice comes down to how someone tells a story. So, the first part of storytelling is its value. Now, why is it that storytelling is so valuable? Whatever it is that you do, like for instance, you could be in a leadership position in a company, you could have started your own venture, you have a vision for a world, how you want to create it. You could be an aspiring politician, a politician, a successful leader in any sphere, in any industry. And probably some percentage of what you do would be hard things. Like you need some kind of expertise. You're probably really good at finance. You're probably really good at management. You're probably really good at accounting. You're probably very good at coding. Like you're a technological savant. You know everything about it. You understand business really, really deeply. You understand, say, supply chain, logistics, operations. But at the end of the day, you have to work with people. Now, people care about the quality of the transaction and your strength and your power of executing those things, your reliability. But the product that you're selling, or your expertise, or your information, or your knowledge, or your experience. But human beings care the most about being seen, being understood, being connected with. They want to listen to something that they can remember. They want to feel good when they have a conversation with you. And every meeting, every presentation, every board meeting, every time you're hiring someone, or probably you're going for a job, you're going for several interviews, you're probably a coach, so you're teaching a lot of people, you're conducting group discussions, you're hosting calls. What you're doing constantly in written and verbal format is you're trying to tell people a story. And the probability is that you're giving them information. So, storytelling has become so valuable because most leaders have been so conditioned to share information that they've forgotten how to connect with people. Now, something happened in last few months, that's artificial intelligence. Information has become really cheap. Information's become extremely available. Now, what you can offer in a world where intelligence is artificial and it's available and it's cheap and it's democratized is you can use the value of human emotion. I'll tell you how it helped me. So I uh, I was a journalist for a while, for a very long time. And I've written stories for newspapers, like those little snippets, very straightforward articles, as we call them. And then I've worked with magazines and new media publications, subscription publication that went so deep to the core of what was happening that the right way to express it was not by condensing or curating information in a way that's clear and that's well articulated and that's fact checked, where proof of the its authenticity, its the truth is considered and presented, but it needed to be presented in a way that's a story. It has a hero, a villain, some protagonist, an emotional arc. That's the thing that engages people, that engages readers, that engages anyone that you're having a conversation with. So that engagement quality, which is not a selling quality, but a genuine human connection quality, when it comes through in your writing, like a style that's distinctively yours, or the way you speak, you work on that style and you hone it and you actually commit to it over a very long period of time, it compounds. Like you get better at it and get better at it, and it becomes your currency. So once people know your style, and they know what you stand for, what your purpose is, what your identity is, what your vision is. They get a sense of who you are. And that's what makes a great leader. So this is something that I was always like really bad at math and science and technology and almost every other hard skill that one could know. But I was able to use this skill to write stories that traveled far and wide, that won awards. So much so that at some point, business leaders, CEOs of companies, professionals from not for profits, think tanks, international organizations started asking, how do we learn this skill, the ability to tell a story? And I co conducted dozens of workshops and I created a curriculum. And I found myself in rooms with leaders from major corporations, and all they wanted to know was, how can I connect with the person that I'm hiring? How can a 50 something man who's at the top of their field, who's leading a bank, connect with a 22-year-old who they've hired as an intern? And we know for a fact that there's a lot of trust gap and communication gap and general distance that's happening between generations, between genders, between cultures. So I taught them the skills that I had learned in my writing that helped these leaders connect better with their investors, with their customers, with their talent, with the teams that they were hiring, people that they were working with. The very little things that I came across, like one of the feedbacks I heard was, say, a CEO was so good and so thorough with the numbers that this person, when they went to the investor did not really understand the intricacies of what this person was talking about. So the insight was completely lost because this person was so close to it. The CEO assumed that he was sharing all the relevant information, but he did not know how to package it, how to construct it, which information to use, how to articulate it in a way that the investor who's part of the board really understands why this is relevant. So people would listen or pretend to listen, but they won't really care. Now we know for a fact that a lot of marketing and sales campaigns are losing to creators. Like large companies have to go to influencers now to help sell their products, to build a brand. So people now really don't want to be sold anything. And the gap between how Gen Z or 20 something sees the world and how a 50 something sees the world or even a 40 something sees the world is so far apart at this point that another thing that I heard was that all hands in several companies, people really don't want to show up. They don't really want to listen because the way they are being conducted is that the leader is talking at the people instead of talking to them. Um, Another thing, the ability to really ask a question and listen to the answer. So the way, say, leadership conducts surveys to diagnose the problem of why there is low engagement and actually fixing it, the ability to listen to another person, empathize, and see the world from their perspective. These are the qualities that are rare, especially in the age of AI. I'll just share something that will help you connect the dots. The word common is the base of the word communication and community. So if you want to bring people together, you have to find what's common. For that, you have to go really deep into what really makes human beings connect with each other. You have to communicate, you have to listen, you have to ask the right questions. So there are several levels of it. First is expression, second is articulation, third is storytelling. So I've seen leaders who struggled with the first bit, like who don't know how to express themselves in a way that's true, that's authentic to them, how to be vulnerable, how to be truthful. A lot of people struggle with articulation or they get it at various levels, but their audiences don't get the depth, the width, the crux, the essence of what they're saying to them. There are gaps in understanding, there are gaps in how much someone remembers, there's gaps in trust, there's a gap in attention. The ability to get attention now is an extremely strong, very important currency for anyone who wants to lead in any kind of way. Great products, great teams, great companies with terrific ideas tend to fall behind because they don't know how to tell a cohesive, holistic story. Not like I have a PR department, I have a communications person, I have someone who's going and working on investments, I have someone who's hiring. Like the identity, the core of what it means to work with you. Why should someone work with you in whatever capacity? Why should someone get into a transaction with you, invest in you, buy from you, no matter what it is? It's these questions that maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe I'm not, but in my experience, they have a lot of value. For me personally, when I was conducting these trainings for leadership, all I did was I told stories in the form of blogs, in the form of a newsletter, and that's it. That's all I had. Yes, I was working with a brand that had some value, but my selling, my marketing, everything relied on storytelling and it did extremely well. So there's something key that I have learned that the most fundamental quality, once it's actually cultivated, you spend some time in expression and articulation and gaining attention and communication and expressing the truth of why you are doing something that you're doing. How do you intend to go from point A to point B? why someone should get into any transactional relationship with you, why they should trust you, why they should work with you, why any kind of human interaction should happen. Once you invest in this skill, some amount of time in finding the core, the way you lead improves significantly. Any meeting, any communication, the way you're hiring, the way you're pitching, the way you're talking about your product. Say you're a startup, you have great ideas about the next generation robotics, for instance, about technologies that are going to change the world, about healthcare that's going to be transformative, pharma, maybe something in social space, environmental space, as a think tank, as a not for profit, as a social entrepreneur, as someone who has a vision. When you genuinely commit to communicating it, and you don't need a lot at this point, all the platforms exist and everyone can execute, but not everyone has taste. Not everyone knows how to be human. Human beings have spent ages trying to be more robotic and more intelligent. Now, the real currency for tomorrow is your empathy, your ability to empathize with another person and communicating and getting attention in a way that genuinely connects. Your ability to earn people's trust with your words and with your actions is your currency now. The world has gotten to a point where you can either look at artificial intelligence and feel like, oh, technology and intelligence and words are taking over, written by AI. You can look at AI slop and feel bad. Or you could be the person who says, let me hone my soft skills and make them so polished and so great. At least make some effort that I start standing out from my peers. I start being truer to who I am as a human being and I start expressing from that core. That's the kind of work I do. I believe in authenticity. It's the greatest currency you have. It's your deepest core value that you can offer to the world. So the coaching that I conduct is extremely personalized. You can just go to my website. It's linked below, and you could be a part of the waitlist. I want to work only with leaders who have a purpose and a vision. If you don't have a purpose and a vision, I can't really help you. I cannot craft your story for you. I'm not someone who has a marketing agency or some sort of, I will not sell for you, I will not market for you, I will not develop your brand for you, but I will help you tell your story in a way that's right for your audience. I will help you with the articulation. I will tell you everything that I have learned in last 20 years about trust building, about truth telling. And one more thing, if your story is that of power, like, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm the smartest, I'm the most experienced, and that's the limit of your story. Like, it's a basic showcasing of power, and then that performative story without substance will not really work in today's world. So this coaching is not right for you if you're looking for dramatic performative way of getting attention. It's for someone who believes in substance, who wants to establish a deep connection with their audiences, and who has an idea, who has a vision, who has some conviction in it. There is some belief already. You can just, that would be a good fit. And we can work in amplifying your story and finding the right words for your story, in creating a strategy that helps you express in a way that's true for you and that gets through to your audiences. Also, it's a long term coaching. So, the minimum that I would say that you need to commit is 6 weeks. Ideally, 6 months is when you'll see a lot of growth. You'll understand the value, the power, the strategic impact that authentic narratives have. And that's where compounding starts happening. But as far as your own expression and articulation and the core, defining that core is concerned, um, that starts happening within 5 to 6 weeks. So I hope to see you in my coaching. Thank you.